Hello, good evening, friends. Hope you're all doing really well. Bit of a mixed day. It started off really badly and then ended up very well, and it was a bit of a red letter day for me. Actually, it kind of felt like I hit a milestone in my development, despite the day starting off so poorly. So I came on in the morning and I felt very stressed and foggy. I logged into calls, which I don't normally do on a Monday, but I guess I kind of felt keen because there was new members and stuff, and I wanted to just like log on to catch up. And then the markets start moving, the questions start coming in, and I'm just feeling like I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, to be honest. So I made the decision just to log off the calls because Monday's technically my day off that I don't trade. So yeah, it was like I ended up taking a stupid trade to start off, but I'll get into the kind of pre-analysis first, and we'll see. It's kind of important that we talk about this, so we'll just get into it. So I said yesterday, we noticed GU is currently in a weak supply, most likely to break. We made a higher low, the hourly, and notice the weekly is in compression. The reversal may be soon. Watch the H1 demand zone and consider buying the dip. Mark at all key levels because there will be surprises. Do not be surprised by spikes below the lows made or a stop hunt on the higher low made. Please be prepared for this. Note the contact with daily demand. That's here. My experience with this is we can often make a second contact. Okay, we never just bounce off daily demand and that's it. We always come down and accumulate. Well, the market makers need to take all the stops of the people that went long so they can start building up their orders in an accumulation. So don't be surprised if all the lows are grabbed. We can make a call on this tomorrow. And Dixie's on a tear. You wouldn't bet against the dollar at the moment. That was confirmed today. I thought the next natural move was down, but it actually ended up stop hunting the top. So I'm not sure. I guess some news flow over the weekend caused the dollar to fly. I'll need to check into that actually and see what it was. I thought there might be ranging and liquidity runs, so I said watch out for the H1 supply and demand zones, but it ended up just running the highs. So intraday chart with key levels to follow tomorrow. And so, first thing to notice is we were in H1 demand, and well, I'll just get into the chart. We're in H1 supply in Dixie and that H1 demand in GU. So what I was saying, which turned out to be wrong, but it's no problem. I mean, in FX, you have an edge over the market, okay? And that means you should be right more than 50% of the time. So you're going to be wrong some of the time, and being wrong isn't, losing money is a bad thing, but being wrong as a trader is something you're going to experience every day. And it doesn't mean your system is bunk. It just means you weren't right on this occasion. That makes any sense. Even though it sounds like I'm trying to make an excuse, I'm sure that'll make sense to experienced traders in a way. So we're in this H1 demand zone and we're forming this equal triangle. That's the first thing I see. So I'm expecting fake outs. Okay, I'm expecting some kind of fake out move on this, i.e. traders will be trading the breakout and then they'll shift the market the other way. So I thought they might take the Asia low. There's this M15 swing low as well. So this was the time when I was feeling like just not good in general. I wasn't feeling fresh. I wasn't feeling like in the zone. And I took the stupidest buy you could ever imagine here. I took a full size loss just because I saw this absorption below the Asia low, and I thought this absorption was going to go on to turn the market at the start of Frankfurt. And there was a lot of assumptions being made there because quite often the market will start moving the other way in Frankfurt. So it was a bit of an assumption that didn't have any base. And if you actually have a look at the absorption in detail, it was fairly low volume. I don't trade absorptions unless they're over 100. So here I actually broke my rules, and I would say that was a bad trade, a really bad trade. So we can just like, I don't know, put an X over that or something. That was just a piece of shit, to be honest with you. And then I actually did the same on my IG account, which this doesn't really count because it's on my IG account. I take just a fraction of the risk. It wasn't a full size loss, but I ended up buying here at London Open again, making the same stupid assumption that the market would shift at London Open. So I bought off this imbalance here. Kind of, I guess, following key levels. I think it was a low volume retest. I have to go back and check, but it was a tiny loss anyway. I got out with almost no loss, but I'm gonna count that and say that was 2 losses, but also a rule break, right? Just a piece of junk. So say we've got 2 losses at this point, so it's not going well. So I stay at the charts. I'm not giving up. And what did we see? We broke below this M15 swing low, and I'm noticing we're in a compression. Let's get rid of that. Right, I'm noticing it's compressing a bit. It's a bit like an M5 wedge, right? The retail pattern, the wedge. So I think I've traded a lot of these in the past, and you can usually get a breakout, but you don't really know how far it's going to go. So I ended up trading off. It broke out. The compression broke, and that just means it's going to go the opposite direction for some amount of distance. So I waited for the breakup and then the retest of an imbalance, which was this 16.0, and took the retest. I think somebody else took that with me. That's just a bit of a price action type trade after breaking key levels, following the price action, and then trading off an imbalance. Went up a bit, had my stop at break even, then it got hit, ended up re-entering on the same imbalance because it just settled on top there. It didn't actually really break below, it just settled on top and didn't manage to break below, so I considered the level still valid. It went up to the Frankfurt high, which is a key level. I wasn't even thinking of reversing off of Frankfurt high. I'm still considering us kind of in demand, even though we've completely consumed it. In my mind, I was like, okay, H1 hasn't actually closed below demand, or has it? It actually has. So this is becoming a flip zone at this point, but I hadn't registered it. I was thinking about this compression and the breakout. So we got a nice run up. I mean, how many pips was that? I'll just get the tool. Went up nearly 20 pips, right? But I did not take that. I think I took 2R. It came down and it broke some level here. It broke an opposing imbalance, ended up getting 2R, but I ended up covering my losses at this point. So at this point, I'm around break even or slightly positive. So I'm feeling a bit better about the day and a bit calmer. And I'm starting to realize what's going on, that this demand is not holding anymore. And starting to register in my head that it could be a sell day, and we're having that scenario that we talked about, that we're actually going for lows. And I can see Dixie is on a clear just path up. We'll bring Dixie up. The structure on all time frames is clearly just let's bring up 15 minutes. You know, just doing this all day, just going up, making waves up and down. So that registers with me. The screen was on here, so that's, I'm kind of taking heed of that. And I register that we've done this Frankfurt high trade, and it comes down and then retests an imbalance, and it's like a 15.0, I think. Let's zoom in here. Yeah, so it's actually a key level wipe on what is a flip zone. It's now a Frankfurt high key level trade. Okay, so it goes down, retraces on slightly lower volume, and we end up going into this 15-0 imbalance. Okay, so I didn't. Oh, shit. I didn't enter the trade at that point. I see it go down, I see it accumulate a little bit, and I get in on an 11-0. I get on in this 11-0. Okay, if it's we can see we're bearish at this point, and I get in on this tap. So we settle in a lower volume, which is in the setup 3 process flow document. So I'm lucky I catch it short. I mention it on the chat, and I get a nice 7.5 R. I just write it down to this M15 demand. So yeah, by this point I'm positive. And we've hit the 8th of July M15 swing low, so I'm kind of prepared for longs again. I think maybe that's it. We've taken the London low, we've taken the 8th of July M15 swing low. Now, really important, I noticed this accumulation on the M15 demand. On M5 it's a lot clearer. And then I'm talking to Nathan about waiting for the grab. This point is 11 a.m. So I'm trading into my break at this point. I usually stop at 10 a.m. But I guess I'm on a bit of a roll, so I think I'll just go with it. We get this accumulation in demand, so the next phase, this is a Wyckoff pattern, okay, and this is the spring. So I'm ready to pounce on this. I'm really confident in it, just from experience and seeing something like this before. And we get heavy absorption down here, so I just go for it. I enter very, very, very aggressively on this one. You can see the absorption here. I posted this earlier, and a break of imbalances. So that's about as aggressive as it gets on this. And yeah, get an 8.5 R on that one. So that was really good. I just rolled up to the structural level. I know I was talking about daily open, but I just be realistic here, take the 26 pips, and it's an 8.5 R. So not too bad. So at this point, it is looking like continuations down, and we're talking about setup 3s. I was out at this point, but I think somebody took the trade here. Was it Prash? I think there was an imbalance here and an FVG, and we might have had a brilliant setup 3, but I was out at that time, so I didn't even look at it. So I hope somebody caught that. Then the last one, another kind of setup 3. I'm looking for setup 3 in this pull up, because we haven't hit the 6th of July low yet, and that's clearly the target. That's clearly where we're going, is to get that last low. If you understand ICT concepts, it's like price is always hunting for liquidity and highs and lows, and that's just all it does. I noticed the spike up, and I'm kind of looking to short at this imbalance. There's like a medium-sized imbalance here, but price didn't really respect it. The volume wasn't that great, so then it spikes up again above these highs into an M5 FVG, and this is kind of like an M5 order block. So I'm watching the order flow, and what do we get is like a doji, and the bullish imbalance is broken, and I think there's absorption on that doji as well, so I go for it. This is my chance. Brilliant. A doji is like a price action signal all in itself, so I go for it, and my plan is to hold to below the 6th of July low, so I get 10 out of there. So it turned into an amazing day, and I guess what I was most proud of in myself was having the confidence to switch to continuation plays and admit that I was wrong on the buys at the start of the day, and then just switch gears, switch mindset. Because if you ask Mitch, he'll probably say that I'd be stubbornly looking for the buy and never looking for a sell on this whole rundown. Be trying to buy in stupid places. So yeah, I just ended the day there. My actual plan, if I hadn't got that big spike up, I didn't know this was going to happen, I would have bought down here. I didn't see what the confirmation was or anything, but could have got a nice little trade there. And we'll do some analysis for tomorrow, but I think with this low taken, we'll just see. We'll have to see the overnight price action. If it ranges, it might go for this low again. We'll just see in the day, and we're going to have new zones, and Dixie's going to look different. So we'll just wait a bit of time for that and then catch it in the morning. So tomorrow, for mentorship students, I'm going to have to come and go in the morning a little bit. So if it's okay, I'll definitely do tomorrow afternoon. I'll be here for analysis in the morning, and I'll trade a bit of the time, and I'm going to have to go. I've got an appointment. And I'll come and do whole of Friday as well. And anyone else on mentorship who wants to have a one-to-one call or anything, that's cool too. Yeah, so that was it. It was basically a shit day that turned into an amazing day. This one was probably my favorite because I didn't expect it, and it was a nice example of setup 3, I guess. And I'm going to tweak it to not curve fit, but to kind of actually, this was the old setup 3. This was perfect. This was variant 2. If you look at the flowchart, as the variant that goes down on the right is where you see a big move, a liquidity grab away from the order flow of the day, and then we go down. So this was textbook setup 3. All right, well, I've talked enough, so I will wish you an amazing evening, and we'll talk tomorrow.